actually, we do have with us at the moment Mohamad Elmasry, a professor of media studies at the Doha Institute for Graduate Studies. He joins us live from Minneapolis in the US. Antony Blinken was very explicit. He said several times that Israel has endorsed the agreement. He was quite categorical about this.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've been listening to Blinken now for 10 and a half months. I think this is his 9th visit to the region. And so I think most of what he said was pretty, par for the course. It was expected. I think most of us who have been paying attention could have probably written these remarks for him. We kind of know the playbook. He's basically speaking as an advocate for Israel. He's trying to put the onus on Hamas. He's trying to suggest that this is a good deal, for the Palestinians, right? That it's very similar to the deal that Biden put out in May, the proposal that he put forth in May. And a lot of this is just, quite honestly, it's nonsense. He's not telling us. It's what he's not telling us is. Which is important. He's not telling us that that May proposal by Biden was accepted by Hamas. He's not telling us that Israel never accepted that proposal, which was put forth as an Israeli proposal, which of course now seems utterly preposterous, given that Israel has changed the terms.
He said several times that it's very important that Hamas understand the deal. As you say, the onus is very much on Hamas to accept this, but he also seemed to say that it's in Israel's interest for this to end. Might there be a slight shift in tone when he, in his conversations now with the Israelis, particularly with Prime Minister Netanyahu, might the Americans be exerting a little more pressure in the interests of their own election, if nothing else?
Look, people have been saying that the U.S. is changing tone and exerting pressure since November. Until I see something tangible, some tangible evidence, I'm not going to, draw that conclusion. They had a 3-hour conversation. Who knows, what they were saying for those 3 hours. And we have to remember that Blinken has to sell this as a U.S.-endorsed proposal. He has to convince the American population, and in particular swing voters and Democrats, that the Biden administration and the Harris-Walz ticket, that they are, trying to bring a ceasefire to Gaza. Do I think that the Blinken trip or that the Biden administration thinks that a ceasefire is absolutely essential to winning the upcoming election? No, I don't, because if they did believe that, they would have long ago put pressure on Israel, but they're not doing that.
But the one thing that is very difficult for them to calculate or guarantee is how Iran and Hezbollah might react. So, even if the war in Gaza were to continue, Washington does appear to be very concerned about a wider regional escalation.
I think Washington is legitimately concerned about that possibility. I think they're trying to contain it to the best that they can. And I think this proposal, which I think is mostly farcical, is kind of a delay tactic. I think they know that Iran and Hezbollah cannot attack Israel so long as there is a proposal on the table that is being considered. So this is kind of a delay tactic. It gives Israel more time. It gives Israel the time to prepare for the attack. But I also think that the United States is fully in cahoots with Israel in its war effort. They've been on board since October 7th. I don't think that anything has fundamentally changed, and I think the U.S. has resigned itself to the fact that there is going to be an attack at some point by Iran and Hezbollah on Israel. Why the United States is allowing all of this to take place? Not only against, Palestinian interests, obviously, against international law, against human rights, but also I think against U.S. interests. That's a topic for another day. That's a topic for a PhD dissertation.
I mean, look, does Hamas find itself also in a position where it might have to consider possibilities that it didn't before, just perhaps in order to avoid blame for these talks collapsing completely, some sort of temporary Israeli presence in certain parts of Gaza, for there to be some kind of short-term respite for the unbelievable suffering of the people there in Gaza?
It's an extremely difficult position to be in. I cannot get inside of Hamas's heads. I don't know what their leadership is thinking.
Just in terms of their room to maneuver.
Right. What I do know is that there's not much here for the Palestinians in this proposal as it stands. That's my position as, somebody who's been trying to analyze it every which way. You're talking now about a temporary pause in the fighting. That is true, but also a promise from Israel that they will continue the bombardment of Gaza as soon as that temporary pause ends. That's number one. Number two, you're talking about building the infrastructure for a permanent occupation of the Gaza Strip. Israel is adamant that they want to maintain control over the Philadelphia corridor, the Rafah crossing, and the Netzarim corridor, right? So those are three arteries of Gaza. And remember that Israel has also set up a buffer zone, which takes up 16% of Gaza at present. So, I'm asking the question, what is there on the table here for Palestinians? Why would a Palestinian accept this deal unless, as you say, they just want to give their people a break? Which look, that's understandable. I'm not, I'm sitting here in Minneapolis in a comfortable environment. I'm not going through a genocide. I can absolutely understand the perspective of Palestinians on the ground who are saying, we understand this isn't a good deal, but we just need a break. We would just like some food to come in, some clean water to come in so that we can drink and eat and clean ourselves properly.
Mohamad Elmasry, for now, thank you very much.
Thanks.